about point and a half in the money. See, the longer this plays out, they're not getting the price
I'm not
action they're
loving
looking
this.
for.
I took it super light, so I'm not too worried. But
Order filled.
What? Why aren't you loving it? Why aren't you loving it? We haven't really moved. Well, this is just what? You're taking a little bit of heat. You're about to what? 8 points or so, and taking some heat. Are you looking to cut? Are you looking to cut? Or just getting impatient?
yeah, I think
Just getting impatient.
Yeah, I think I don't love the chop. I feel like I'm just gonna get chopped out here, but I think if we start to fill over this, this area over here, this area over here, over 480, I'll probably end up cutting the tree.
Order filled.
Unless we start filling lower here, I'm not loving this.
Hang in there. Are your bros still long from 21,450?
They said their first take profit was 480, so it looks like they got wicked out right there.
Okay. And VIP check-in form number 25 pinned to the top of the chat. Get those in. We'll let that cook for a couple hours. All day. Then we got top quiz with Eddie and Bonnie. An additional entry into that VIP season 3 draft next month. This is tilt.
Once again, 10 minutes until the 5-year auction, then an hour and 10 until the FOMC meeting minutes.
Yeah. Of course, Nvidia earnings. Super Bowl earnings. Is there anything else reporting? Salesforce. HP.
API. Don't forget about API. Root stock. Usually gives us a good indication. And then we got EIA tomorrow.
Hold this trade, Ron. Well, you're getting patient, don't you? Right. Well, you're getting patient, don't you? You want to see instant action.
I thought the market would wake me up, but this is just making me more sleepy.
Forget about that hot pocket in the microwave there, Ron.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
What are we looking at right now? What's your trader station setup look like when you're in your dorm? He's got a little laptop.
My desk is really small at school, so I don't have that much room to work with. But this is what I got. I'll show you. This is what I got at home.
Okay. Here we go. We're taking a little tour with Ron.
The double monitor.
There's me on the green room.
Yeah, that's it. My room is pretty empty.
That's
and boring.
That's the guy's room.
Did you make your bed? Let me see that. Did you make your bed today, Ron?
Still warm. Leave him alone.
Wow. Absolutely. All right.
Like it or not, that's peak male performance.
That's how you do it, Ron. All right. I see some selling coming in here. 1,460. We got Ron D. Give us a little tour of his room. Now, this isn't your dorm room. This is, I assume, to be your parents' house, correct?
Yeah, I live with my parents. Yeah, I live with my
Order filled.
Stop it. Now, click like, follow, subscribe. We're hanging in here. These markets aren't doing much, but we're starting to see a little bit of movement to the downside here. We saw the 78% long tilt in ES. That's what happened. We sold off about 5 points or so, 59.21. Look at NASDAQ, 1,456. Ron is short from 464. We got the auction top of the hour. Right now, Ron D. You're working those 26s to the downside, correct?
I'm actually a little upset. I got impatient. I entered the trade early. My original entry was supposed to be at the sweep of this previous high over here, so I was going to enter off 21,480. That was also the exit level for the trade that my friend was in. So I had pretty good confirmation to enter off that level, but I got impatient and took it early. But I'm not too upset because it's working out in my favor right now. We'll see.
It is. Couple minutes left here. We got Ron D. That was awesome. Is compared to your dorm room. Do you like that room better or your dorm room better?
It's so much. It's so much nicer. I get claustrophobic in my dorm. It's way too small. I like having all the space, and my bed is way comfier. It's a good and bad thing, though. It's a good and bad thing, though. Comfy bed. Having that comfy bed.
You have it's hard to get out. You have yes, it's hard to get out of it sometimes. Do you have roommates in at school?
Yeah. I have four other guys that I live with. We all have our own rooms, though. So
nicely. Trade. Have you told them trade? Have you told them about Top Step?
Yeah,
if not, wow.
Yeah, one of my roommates. One of my roommates he actually got me into trading. We used to trade options together. We used to trade 0-day SPY options, but I had to step away from that. It was very degenerate.
We're gonna assume that you're 21 years old. What is the best bar if I am in Rutgers? For some reason on my World College tour, where should I go?
Well, that's a tough one.
We're at the advice of counsel. You don't have to ask. What have you heard is the best bar?
Asking for a friend.
Yeah, since I'm under 21, I've obviously never been to any of this. But from what I've heard, the most fun is it's called Queens, Old Queens Tavern. It's very nice. And there's another one called Stuff Your Face.
Okay.
That one's pretty cool.
Okay.
They have food too. Food's really good too.
Those are probably the best ones.
Queens over there on Easton Avenue. Yep. Favorites. Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, Ron D. Are you in the chat? What's your trader? What's your name in the chat so we can watch how this trade plays out? You watch Top Step TV?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me check.
All right, cool. We got this 5 year coming in here. Yeah, just throw in the chat. Just throw in the chat. Just keep us posted on how this chat goes. Again, you are short from 21,464. We got this 5 year auction. We got Jack doing lunchbox trading coming up with Jay and Dakota as well. We got those hard-hitting questions from Top Quiz. Again, that VIP entry form will be pinned to the top of the chat for a little bit longer. Make sure to get that in there. Ron D, keep us posted on this chat. We got this 5 year auction coming in about 3.5 minutes. So that being said, Jack, we're going to get out of here. Keep us posted, see if anything pops in. Ron D, always a pleasure. Thank you for waking up. You can go back to bed, my friend. Take a nap. Thanks for hanging out. Later.
Thanks, guys.
Later. All right, this is Top Step TV. Let's go 5 year auction on the other end of this. Come on.
Order filled.
Good afternoon, and welcome back to Top Step TV Lunchbox Trading. I'm Coach Jay. In the middle of us, we got Coach Dakota, Coach Hoop on the side. We called it the three-man weave. Coach's takeover. How we doing today, guys? Coach Dakota, how you doing, man?
Doing good. We're ready. Doing good. We're ready for some FOMC minutes and Nvidia after the bell.
Yes, we are doing all right. Yes, we are doing all right. Took a little break earlier from fast markets, but doing pretty good. Coach Hoop, how you doing today?
Trying to stay out of the chop. Trying to stay out of the chop early. Long a couple MES in here right now. So.
Okay. What price are you long from, Coach? What price are you long from, Coach?
59.21 and a half.
Okay. Nice trade. Got about six. Nice trade. Got about 6 points in the profit right now. We did have that 5-year note auction come out. We're not seeing as much of a response to it in the markets like we did in during the 20-year auction. But high yield came in at 4.071%. I threw this over to ChatGPT and said, "Hey, translate this for me. What does it mean?" The highest interest rate or return that buyers will receive from these 5-year Treasury notes is 4.071%. Coach, any other information you have on these note auctions? I got the results out. I got the results out from there.
5-year J. I mean, 2 and 5s. Just I know they can do anything. But usually the 2 and the 5s don't quite have the pop that the 20 and 30-year auctions do. Just because short term, it just doesn't seem. And once again, who knows with numbers now? It seems like everybody's always just waiting on a tweet bomb or a tape bomb or something. So.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Coach Dakota, you said we were waiting on FOMC minutes and Nvidia. Anything you're looking at to potentially take a trade in right now, or is it kind of just wait and see for the rest of the day?
It's chop, man. I just wait and see. I took a loss last night during slow markets. I was long, looking for us to break above. I was looking at this as kind of a flagging pattern, looking for this market to maybe come up and test 500s. We didn't. We broke down, and you could see this ugly chop that happened overnight. I know Aaron trades and D probably didn't have too much fun overnight in this price action. And just randomly, about 5 a.m., we just shot up 100 points, broke through those 500s, and then right back down. On this higher time frame, if we look at, say, like the 4-hour chart, Sure enough, we did come up and we tested this upper end as resistance. I was looking for it to happen a lot sooner. We rejected off of it. So the question now is, what's going to happen with these FOMC minutes? Maybe nothing. I think Nvidia earnings is going to be the tell of the tape, whether we're going to be breaking out, or headed back down towards the bottom end of this range. I think those are the two options that I see with these Nvidia earnings. We're either going up or down. I have my targets in place. What I'm looking for in this market, we either break out of this resistance, or we're going to come back down towards this support level. Till then, no trades for me. I just want to react based off of Nvidia. Maybe a fun overnight session. Fun slow markets with you, Jay. You're going to be joining me.
Yeah, it should be a good time. It should be a good time. We'll get to see early market response to Nvidia earnings. We are going to be covering it during At the Buzzer. We know that once the markets open back up and volume is allowed to trade again, we will see a much more of a response from the market from there. And I agree with you. If we're looking at the equities right now, pretty choppy. I did take a trade after fast markets when I got off. We did see a pop in crude oil off of some news. And took us a short right around 62.50s, where we saw that kind of volume, buying pressure slow down right around 62.50s. Took a short kind of back into the range. But outside of that, I am, like Coach Hoop said, trying to stay out of the chop right now, because it's very easy to get chopped up. Traders in the chat, let us. Bitcoin is railing. We do have
a good little price there.
Do have the VP at a Bitcoin or crypto conference right now. Maybe we're seeing some response there. Micro Bitcoin trading 107.820. Coach Hoop, do you trade Micro Bitcoin often?
I do numbers on it. And I'm just in a weird mode. We started looking at how its price action was 6 months ago, Jay, and how it's become. It used to have huge ranges and a lot of volatility, and now the ranges have kind of shrunk. And technically, to be honest with you, more often than not, it's become a little better of a market. It's not the same entity to me. This is just my 2 cents on it. That it was 6 months ago. I think there's a lot more people invested in it from ETFs across the way. So the price action is just better, man. Yeah, GameStop's in it now. That's crazy. Man.
GameStop with a $500 million investment in Bitcoin. Saw that headline today.
MicroStrategy. It's looking like
I know. I mean, when your company's not doing good, you just
lean on Bitcoin.
buy GameStop.
Lean on Bitcoin.
Or buy Bitcoin. Like, yeah, you know what? We might be going under as a company, but let's just buy Bitcoin and
Right.
life is good.
The ultimate hedge.
Exactly.
Quick check at prices in the market. Check at prices in the market right now. Coach Hoop long 59.21 in the micro S&P. Currently trading 59.28. The Nasdaq trading 21,480. Gold not really doing a whole lot. Gold is still in rollover, right? 32.93 half, and crude oil sitting at 62.09. Looking at the tilt, long 77% in the 77% long in the S&P. Average price 59.26. About 70% in the Nasdaq. 69% in the Nasdaq. Long from 21,472. They are in the money slightly as well. I'm trying to look at this market as if I was Dolby and
That's what I just did.
trading the range.
That's what I just did, by the way. I just peeled one off. I have one left. I just was thinking that.
Nice.
I just was thinking that was the top of the range. I'm stink at it, so it's the market we're gonna give. It's the market we're gonna give. We got to try, right, Jay?
Absolutely.
What time frame
Cody,
Jay, are you looking? What time
Cody,
frame Jay, are you looking at?
I'm looking at a 5-minute, 3-minute. I'm looking at a 5-minute, 3-minute.
Okay.
Kind of around that. Yeah.
Maybe
all the same.
honestly, maybe a short up here at these 470s, 480s to return right back down to those 460s. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take a short.
I was going to say, if I had to place a trade, that would be it. That would be the price you get. Right? All right.
Yeah.
What price do you get?
I got 477 3/4. It's a short, risking 14 points, 15 points for us to return right back in the middle. Maybe targeting these 460s. A little 1-to-1 risk reward. A little bit better than the 1-to-1 risk reward. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy.
These are minis.
Yeah, these are minis. Yeah, these are minis.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
Playing a messy market.
Playing
It's a messy
the
market.
range.
And this is just a combine. I'm not going to be playing in my live account in this mess.
I don't
So
blame
it's
you.
just a
Yeah,
combine.
I don't blame you.
Getting a feel for it. That itch that you might like try and scratch. We're here in front of everybody. We're here in the charts, and you kind of get that urge.
Right.
Might as well switch it to a
Right.
practice account or an account that you can just hey, this looks like a good setup. Let's just see how this choppiness is for F1
Keeps you
2 minutes.
fresh.
Yeah.
It's like throwing the jab out there. It's like throwing the jab out there, Dakota. I know you've been boxing a lot. It's throwing the jab, kind of a range finder. Let's see,
Range finder.
Let's see,
range finder.
what my setup. Yeah, see what my setup. That's what the jab is called, right?
Range finder.
Distance.
Keep my distance. Keep my distance.
Yep. What we have to do in these markets. Are we ever going to see a Coach Dakota boxing match?
Yeah, I think you guys will.
I was not expecting that answer.
Really? You was not expecting that? Really? You was not expecting that?
Send out some cameras. Send out some cameras. Send out some cameras. I would definitely be attending. Maybe I'll show up in person.
Sounds like he's been training. Sounds like he's been training pretty hard too.
I'll fly you out here.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I just have to get down. I just have to get down to the weight I want to fight at.
What class would you be in? What class would you be in? It's like a middleweight, I guess.
A little bit heavier, man. I'm a little bit heavier, man. I'm a
little heavier.
Despite what everyone thinks, despite what everyone thinks, I'm a little bigger than what I look on camera. I'm 6 foot. Just over 6 foot. Like, but I'll fight at like 170s. 170s is where I like to be at. Depends on a lot of things.
Gotcha. Equity's still pushing up a little here. Equity's still pushing up a little here. 59.30s in the S&P. 21,484. Coach Hoop, you said you took one contract off, kind of up at the upper extreme of this range. Got one left. Okay.
Yeah. See if maybe we get a. See if maybe we get a. I mean, my feeling is maybe we get a settlement test.
Settlement
like
in
I
the
said,
S&P. Settlement in the S&P.
Yeah, just keeping fresh.
Yeah, we were looking for longs. We were looking for longs earlier this morning in the S&P. I was way too early to that trade. Got in at 59.46. Maybe just a little too eager to see some actual price action today. But then you think about it, the conditions that we have, it's NVIDIA earnings, how directional we're really going to get. We looked above a major level 59.50 and kind of rejected from there. So where do you have settlement price in the S&P, Coach Hoop?
Well, I keep it. I keep it. Seeing it's weird. On my Ninja is the second platform I use because of range charts, and mine says 40.75. So I think it settles. Jay, yours is at NY close, right?
Okay. Yep.
I think basically, if I go back in there and test it, I think it goes beyond the extra 45 minutes. So whatever it closes in that, I think limbo. We talked about that limbo trade zone, like you're going to see after NVIDIA earnings come out today. Mine's more based off of that settlement than just straight NY cut. That's why that's a little different. That's why that's a little different, I believe.
Right. Gotcha.
Chat 170's not super lean. Light heavyweights 175.
We got Larry Merchant in the chat now too, huh?
I think I'd be a middleweight.
Chat's always starting drama, man. Chat is always up for drama.
Maybe I'm the one that. I'm the one that talked about fighting. We'll talk about. We'll talk about love instead.
Weight is not a skill. Weight is not a skill, everybody. Weight is not a skill.
No.
That's a fact. All right. So everyone in here starting drama or stuff is not a skill. Weight is not a skill. Someone could weigh 20 pounds heavier than you. It means absolutely nothing. Unless the only time weight really comes into effect is when you're close to the same skill level. It's like this more than anything. You know this more than anything, Jay. You have someone like Baron who's 6'8", 6'9", and they're competing against say Spud Webb. Will do.
Right. Like it. Now we're talking.
Who do you think's gonna win? Who do you think's gonna win? Right? Just because somebody's a foot taller than other doesn't mean that they're a better player. Doesn't mean that they're a better basketball player.
Right.
Yeah.
Eddie,
Right.
Boxing,
Eddie,
boxing, like Jay was
most
saying, it's that
accurate.
reach.
Stamina.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all the skills.
Until you get
Those
to
are all
the
the skills.
professional level, it's all about stamina. It really is.
I boxed two, and I boxed two, and third, fourth round, you're like, my God, how many more? No,
Yeah.
these guys are going 12 rounds, and it's stamina. It's stamina.
People who not box.
Your
People who
opponent,
not box
you
for a
lose the
living.
stamina, you've got the edge.
Yeah, people that can't
you know,
box for a living. People that can't box for a living or do not box for a living can't make it past the second round. Can't make it past the second round. In pure exhaustion. You don't realize how exhausting it really is.
Mentally and physically.
Well, that's why you gotta like wrestlers are the same way, right? I mean, as a basketball guy in high school, and the 2 seasons used to be at the same. I mean, you talk about guys that would cut weight and be in shape and have to go. You're like, hey, it's only like 3 minutes around. Go try it. And I'm like, go try it, man. Go take a whirl at that. You have to be in really good shape.
Here's a good point. You don't see huge bodybuilders in boxing or MMA.
No.
You don't see. Here's a bigger point. Marines. The U.S. Marines. You will never see a U.S. Marine that is in active military with a huge body build. They are pretty lean.
Yeah.
They're pretty lean. They're on the leaner side. It's more about endurance. It's more about endurance.
Mm-hmm.
Market's still pushing up a little here. Gold 32.97. Stuck around these 3300s. Coach, we are in rollover in gold right now. When do you think we start to see directional price action again? Is it after this week? Will we officially? I think we officially change over to August this week. Is that correct?
Yeah, and with metals, Hogan and I were talking about this the other day. It's just funky.
Okay.
It's a different role
Okay.
than all the others. Like open interest has been 2-1 in August for almost 3 or 4 days now. But you still got 75% of the volume in June. So I'm gonna guess one good blast of overnight. I would think maybe tonight you get a good push in Asia, Hong Kong, and just really get that to unwind for everybody. So I would think by Friday, I would think you logistically start to see some normalcy in the August contract. My guess.
Good stuff. FOMC Fight Club in the chat. Does anyone know if the auction has ended? It has ended. We did share the results a little earlier. But that 5-year auction is over for now. So I think what we may be waiting for, we got FOMC minutes coming up at 1 p.m. Central Time. The president is supposed to sign some executive orders as well. But really, the big headline today is NVIDIA earnings. Eddie, what happens with those earnings? Eddie posting the results of the 5-year auction there in the chat. Thank you for that, Eddie. Also remember, top of the chat, pin to the top of the chat if you haven't done so already. VIP check-in number 25 pinned to the top of the chat. So make sure you fill that out. Tell your friends and family too as well. Or don't. You want to save some of the VIP spots for yourself.
I just added to this position.
Okay.
I added
How many you
to
short
short.
now? Okay.
I added
How many you
to
short now?
from 482 from 482.
Coda short 2, NASDAQ from 482, kind of right here, right now. Nice add on that trade. Anne-Marie closed out the micro Bitcoin long for 150 ticks. Nice trade there, Anne-Marie. Thank you for the update. Trading a bunch of different markets here. Trading a bunch of different. Crude had that spike of volume. How much room would you be looking for to the downside?
Yeah, there's just, you know what, Jay? This is where I've learned. I definitely on these slow days have to go, and I lean to a lot what you look at, and that's that volume. That there's just there's nothing in the volume right now. So once again, looking for a trade, get in trouble.
Yeah, I did take a short. We did see that volume, and like you said, Coach Hoop, we had these two big volume candles that kind of pushed up into a major level, 6250. This is actually the same trade that happened in the S&Ps this morning at 5250. And I got to remind myself to watch market reactions around whole number levels. But right at that 6250, we see high volume and no follow through. Short that I kind of recovered on the day from crude oil was exactly there, right? Just not looking for. We're not seeing any follow through, and then it kind of fade right back into the range. But at this point, that volatility is slowed down. So it feels like, in my opinion, this market could go either way. I'd probably be leaning to the short side, just because of that rejection up there at 6250s. But we might be not in great trade location for a short there.
No. Like Dakota used to say, I mean, Dakota used to talk about this in slow markets all the time. Crude was always great to get everybody piled in, run the stops, and then just whip the other way.
Yes. Yeah.
It's notorious for that. Get everybody loaded up. We're going, and then the other way.
You look at crude much now, Dakota? Or strictly NASDAQ?
No, NASDAQ and gold. NASDAQ and gold have been my my go-to. This NASDAQ, though, is working out pretty well. I have one for a take profit right at the bottom of this pivot that we made this morning around these 50s, and then the other I'm going to see if I could hold until the basically extreme low end of this New York session. But so far so good.
We rejected kind of at the low of the, have it as a 3-minute opening range up there, 21,488. Overnight view up at 21,474. So we're below that now as well. 10 points on the profit, 2 contracts. Nice trade here, Dakota. Nice add there.
Oh man, look at this thing go.
Bringing that average up.
That's what we become. 10-point moves are. Look at this thing go. That's what isn't it crazy from like 2 weeks ago?
Market, yeah, in this market,
you see like 500-point moves, and now we're like 20 points. Woo!
Yeah.
You trade market
4 weeks ago.
Man. Yeah,
4 weeks ago we were talking about 10-point spreads in the Nasdaq, and now we're celebrating 10-point wins here. But take what the market gives you. You're gonna eat what I cooked.
10-point
Mhm.
spreads to 10-point take profit. Yeah, that's interesting.
Nick
How
in the
these
chat says
markets
20
work.
point 20 points is a crash today. Yeah, I mean pretty much.
It is.
Uh,
Yeah.
but if you
K-Bomb.
so let's talk about that a little bit, right? Adjusting to market conditions. A month ago, we were telling traders, scale down, size down. It's not worth taking, the normal risk that you see in the market. And you could do a lot with trading smaller size. Are we getting to an area now, or an environment now where you're more comfortable taking more size on Dakota? I know you talked on Soul Markets the other day saying, end of the year you have some goals about position sizing and things like that. Are you seeing market conditions that facilitate that right now?
Not yet. We have FOMC minutes today. We have Nvidia earnings, so today's a little bit of a
Order
crystal
filled.
ball, right? It's not the
Mhm.
norm. If we see more days like this, more slower, less volatile days like this, to me, it's more about consistent. If it's consistently volatile, then that's great. You just adjust your sizing and trade it. If it's consistently
Right.
like today, you adjust your size, you adjust your trading, and you trade it. Consistency is amazing. It doesn't matter how volatile, you could adjust. But when you get markets that change so dramatically and frequently, that's where it just kicks my butt. And it's been kicking my butt for the first quarter of this year. That's why I'm down today in my live, or not down this year in my live account. Um, it's just I have had a hard time finding consistency in these markets. It's consistently inconsistent, I think, is the best way I could
Oh, and I
explain
was
it.
just I was just gonna
Yeah.
say that, right? Can it be consistently, you know, uncertain, right? Where these markets you don't know what to expect, and I think that's kind of where we're at right now, right? Where some days we get expanded ranges, some days we get random news, and it's just consistently random,
Yes.
consistently random. Money Glitch in the chat wants to know what time Nvidia earnings are. We are going to start at the buzzer around 3:10 Central Time. That's when the watch party starts, and we should be expecting the numbers to come out somewhere around 3:20 to 3:30 Central Time. So grab a beverage, grab a snack, come join me, Jack, Andre,
Mhm.
and Coach Paul for At the Buzzer. Sweep, and we're back up, kind of just chopping around overnight VWAP. Coach Hoop,
Mhm.
do you have an upside target in this trade, or you kind of just holding on and you already
I'm
took some
just
profits,
watching the
just letting it work?
range, Jay, and seeing if we're going to ping pong back and forth through there, and probably until the Fed minutes come out, that's probably where we're going to be. Um, yeah, I think the other thing too is when volatility starts to go away, you know, we do tend to do the upward drift. And if I have flashbacks to last July before the carry trade, I might definitely just stay in trading catalogs. And um, I still have PTSD from that last year. But we could get in that mode. I just think with this administration right now, there's too much that we kick it down the road and then it comes back, and then we kick it down the road, it comes back. So the market doesn't love that. So that's why I'm kind of in Dakota's camp a little bit, where I'm not sizing up too much into anything right now, because it just feels
Okay,
like as soon as we get a little comfortable, here comes the something.
gotcha. Good stuff, Coach Hoop. And yeah, we do have those FOMC minutes coming out in about a half an hour from now. Turtles Trade says it in the chat. Minutes probably aren't going to move the market drastically, but it's also probably why we're seeing just lower volume. It's just going to be a recap of the
Mhm.
prior Fed meeting. We're not going to most likely not going to hear anything new from those minutes, but that in combination with Nvidia earnings, the market is just waiting, and these things happen. I'm looking across the board. I'm pulling up a quote board here to see just what other markets might be moving. During At the Buzzer, we talk about the top percentage movers for the day right now. Uh, Early numbers: top three, corn down 1.8%. For number three, micro Bitcoin down 2.17%, and natural gas. I know D was in a natural gas short earlier, down 5%. Upside, we have RBOB gasoline futures up 1.16. heating oil up 1.17, and crude oil up 1.84. So it seems like the energies stole the show today, while everything else is kind of waiting around for now.
And if you're the grains tend to shine this time of year with some volatility. It's a very weather driven market. So maybe when JD gets back, he actually shot something across the other day that, the most of the stuff's in the ground and they're getting rain. So that's why you might see like today why soybeans are down like 12 cents. Um, if it's raining in the Midwest right now, prices aren't sure as hell going to go up. Pretty much you can pretty much count on that. Not until July, if some heat comes around, then maybe it changes. But uh, yeah, that's a market. I mean, for you Nasdaq traders, go trade the soybeans. That they move. Just make sure you do your homework ahead of time.
I like the short that you're in. I was looking at some of the other equity markets, and they all look like they're kind of up at the upper extreme of this range.
Mhm.
Like the short. Targets maybe down near 450s.
438. My first target's 459. 459.
Okay.
Yeah, 450s, like you said, Jay. The other one's at the low of the session.
Got you. With the Nvidia earnings, do you have any Nvidia exposure, Dakota? I know you do trade options. We're here trading futures. We know that Nvidia is going to affect the futures markets that we trade. Do you have any exposure to Nvidia at all? You don't have to talk
Correct.
your
I think
position.
if
Yeah,
you
that's
own
fine.
stocks at all, you have Nvidia exposure.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm about. So everyone asks me, how do I trade options? Like, there's some secret. If you want to
Yeah.
know how I trade options, everybody, just Google the wheel
Grab the wheel.
strategy. It's
Grab the
one of
wheel.
the most. Yeah, but it's
Grab
one
the
of the most
wheel, man.
boring and common strategies. Hoop, you know it. It doesn't take.
Yep.
It's one of the boring ones. It's
Mhm.
common ones.
Mhm.
But yeah, you can make some amazing money doing the most boring stuff in the market, and that's what it is. It's boring. Same with day trading here. What we're doing is the boring. The more boring your strategy is, typically the more consistent you can get, and that's
100%.
all it is. Same thing. Wheel strategy. Buy the dip here in the markets, in equities. Simple, straightforward.
They said what the expected. I'm looking at it here.
I
Predicted
was
move
looking for
after
that.
announcement earning is 8.4%, either direction.
8.4% expected move. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Good stuff. Dow selling off a little bit here, 42.29.
Break even.
42.290. S&P's selling a little bit back down to the low of this range, 59.23. Nasdaq trading 21.470.
The nice
Crude
thing
oil.
about low volatile markets like this, Jay,
Mhm.
if you have a daily loss limit of say 3,000, it gets bigger, right? In a market like this, the market's not going to move as much, so the $3,000, depending on your size, you have
Mhm.
more room to trade these markets. Like
Yeah,
this,
agreed.
minus 13 points on this stop loss on
It's a lot.
any other day in this past couple months, like that would probably be a 30-point stop loss based off these 5-minute candles. That's where scaling this Y scale here on my charts can be very off. Like before, this is how it would typically be.
Yep.
Very, very small. Very small.
Dakota, you're trading
But-
on a 5-minute chart, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so I'm looking at a 5-minute. The 5-minute ATR in the Nasdaq right now is 15 points, right? So your stop is saying, hey, you know what? On average, 5-minute candles have been moving about where your stop is right now. So you would need a one directional candle against you in that time frame to stop you out, and it's a great trade. Risk based on
Stopped
market
out.
structure. Stopped out, Coach Hoop. All right.
Yeah, it was break
That was
even.
your
I had
money?
the last one at break even. So yeah,
Okay. Nice trade. Nice
I
trade.
did the Dolby. Now
Took
watch
what
it
the market was
rally
willing to
100
present.
points.
Would you get back into it, right? So if I'm looking at this range, hoop, I'm looking at the low end of the range near 59.15s. Would you get back into this trade at all?
Probably not. Not up against 20 some minutes to that number, even though I don't think the number is going to do anything. I'm just not, maybe too many years of trying to range trade and seeing like every time I ever got in at the bottom or the top, I'm the last guy that figured it out. And, the market reverses at that time. So
Yep.
I'm just not, it's just not, I try at times and it works, but